Good morning, 'tis me. This is one of my daily lives. I started doing daily lives yesterday. I'm going to do them for 30 days. So, sometimes it might be short and sweet. Sometimes it might be a bit longer. So whilst I've taken Stephen to work this morning, if you haven't met me before, my name's Sunday. How would I describe myself today? Who do I want to be today? I'm a happy lady most of the time. And anyway, enough about me. Hello. Oh, Anne. Hello, long time no see. So I was taking Stephen to work and I was driving back and I was thinking about choice and consequences. And you know, sometimes in the past, I would hear myself say, but I had no choice, you know, and that happens a lot with people that I'm coaching, clients and all that sort of stuff, you know, well, I had no choice. And actually there is always a choice. It's just that there's consequences to the choice. And I'm thinking of an example here that, you know, I would shy away. There's a people pleaser, I think, in all of us. I think we can recognise that we don't want to harm and we don't want to hurt. And it's interesting that looking at myself now, all of that was a projection based in the history, based on what I knew of the person. So there were certain ways that I had to communicate with certain people in order to stay safe, basically. So that's where the people pleasing came in. So I would shy away from perhaps asking for what I wanted or objecting to some treatment of me or the way somebody was talking to me. You know, I would skirt around the edges of that, you know, look for people who looked a bit volatile, who might explode all over me, all that sort of stuff. And that is history and it's based on good evidence. It's just that it's not particularly useful in the here and now going forward. And yet this organism hangs on to the past like nobody's business and decides that we're going to do it a certain way because this is the way that kind of works but isn't all right, you know, that sort of thing. So in those moments of noticing when I have a choice, I don't know what goes on in this body, and sometimes I think, no, sod it, I am going to speak my truth in this moment, and to hell with the consequences. And there's that sort of point of view, you know. But then there's that other way that I'm exploring, which is, what if my projection of the outcome, the consequences to my choice isn't actually true? Can I doubt my past experience enough to get past the wiring that's deeply ingrained in 60 odd years of doing it a certain way? Can I get past that wiring enough to experiment and try something new? And of course there's times when I do it and there's times when I don't. And the times that I do it, something expands inside of me. There's a sense of, oh my gosh, look what I just did. Look at the choice that I made, because this is all about consciously choosing rather than just running on program. I consciously chose to do it differently, and I consciously chose to focus on the end result that I wanted and not the one that historically I've expected and projected onto the person, poor sod, because they don't even know. And so my choosing becomes a lot easier in that sense that I have the power to let go of the old belief system, the old wiring, and forge a new outcome, forge a new creative end result. Simply by changing my belief system, the history that I carry, that I believe is true, that if I do this, then this will happen. If I don't do this, then this will happen. So really, to go back to the beginning, there is always a choice. There is always a consequence too, and it is, what is the consequence that I would really love as the end result of making this choice, rather than sitting in my old stuff thinking, well, I can't say that because that will upset them, or it's a fascinating little explore, and that it's helping me, supporting me in doing my life differently and stepping into my self-love. Because the amount of times when I've negated myself and put it on the other person, well, you know, I've got to look after them, I've got to be sensitive to their feelings, etc., etc. I'm kind of enabling a dynamic that isn't good for either of us. So having the courage to risk it, and I have got that in my nature, so I'm sort of like, I've got that third force of like, some people might call it brave, other people might call it stupid. And I'm sure it's both at sometimes. You know, I've done things that are really stupid. I expect all of us have, you know. So if somebody calls me stupid, I'll say yes. Tell me something I don't know about myself. So I think for me, like, relationships is obviously my bag. You know, it's this, how do we get on with one another? How do I get what I want and the other person get what they want too? And historically, you know, I used to hang around. I was born into a volatile, explosive type family. And so I've learned the thing about like knowing when to be visible and knowing when to hide away. And so I am up against some wiring, and yet that's the sort of like the interesting bit, the playful bit, the curious bit. And you know, so what if somebody does get cross these days? What if somebody does get upset? You know, and because I know my heart's good, and I can imagine all of us know that our intentions are always true. It's just that occasionally and I won't say that I get it wrong, because you can't get it wrong. It's just that there's another reminder that the way that I've done it with a certain person isn't the way that works for both of us. So exploring all of that, staying curious. So choices and consequences and curiosity, I think the 3 C's today. So that's my little share. Good luck with that one. I can hear you say it. Perhaps you're in the same dilemma too, so give it a go. Thanks for watching, whoever's watching me. I'll see you tomorrow, or I might be in my group, whichever. All right, bye.